Hello and welcome to a new team review. Today we're gonna showcase a team with double fire in the back, which is actually kind of interesting. We have like the Chinchou in the lead, which is gonna counter all the water types, which you don't really want to see with your fire types. And you have the Shadow Growlers as a safe swap here, and we have the Tepic in the back, which is gonna be able to sweep maybe endgame with Flame Charge. We have to see. But we're gonna have the double coverage there with Ember on both of our Pokemon in the back, and the double coverage with Body Slam. So we guarantee like a really nice spammy moveset there. And yeah, the main thing that you want to do with this team is, by the way, just like try to save your Chinchou, as you kind of want to need that for like water types. Go into your Growlithe, try to Ember down a lot of stuff. Like if you don't have Growlithe, you can also use like Vulpix. You can also use like the Tepic as a safe swap. That's like not the biggest problem. You don't need it 100% like the Shadow Growlithe there. But yeah, the main goal there is just like to keep your Chinchou for potential Ducklet and pressure your shields from the opponent with the Shadow Growlithe, as you have like the Body Slam spam, which gonna hurt a lot, and the buffed Ember from the Shadow Boost anyway, like that's gonna hurt like so much for most Pokemon. Even like resisted damage does like so much to everything. You nearly always get a shield there. And if you save your Chinchou and for the water type that most likely gonna swap into you, you still have your Tepic in the back, which can like sweep in the end game. Basically a normal ABB line, which you know like from Grassel, stuff like that. And yeah, this is actually a tricky lead, as you have like Chinchou against Chinchou. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to bait my opponent, as if you're gonna win here with the bait here, which if we're gonna hit the bait there, this would have been like really good, which also happened here. So we're gonna have the debuffed Thunderbolt from my opponent coming through. We're still gonna shield, as it's gonna hurt a lot, and we have to get rid of this Chinchou. But my opponent let go, which is super fine. We're just gonna swap immediately into our safe swap there, as we're gonna get like the biggest answer to the Chinchou basically out of the way anyway. Like your opponent, they're gonna swap out like anything that's super bad against Chinchou, other than my opponent, because he's super weak to Chinchou. I don't know what he's doing, like everything was weak to him. And now my opponent just only has the Vulpix. Well, also a really cool thing about the Chinchou is if your opponent only has one Pokemon left, you can go for the Bubble Beam, and the Bubble Beam really helps you on the end game. As your opponent nearly does no damage anymore, we just don't get here with 1 HP in a Dream. Gonna get the last shield from my opponent, and we are gonna be able to go to the Tepic and just farm all the way down. I could have went for the Body Slam there, but I just thought, like, no Body Slam gonna KO me, I'm just gonna farm all the way down. And that's gonna be it for this game. I actually went 12 and 3 with this team, as well as the same like with the other team yesterday. So both of those teams are super viable. I'm like at 2,915 M&R right now, which is like super high. And I'm mostly in a tank, so maybe I'm gonna stream today, a bit later on, maybe like 1 hour after this video comes out. I have to see. Kinda want to use Regigigas in Master League, which is gonna be super fun to use, as I have Regigigas with Hidden Power Ghost, which can counter just the Giratiners and the Mewtwo's and all this stuff. I actually really prefer the Hidden Power Ice, I think, as you're still gonna counter the Giratiner, but you also would counter the Yveltal, which is gonna be everywhere right now, and also the Lugia, which you're still gonna counter with the Hidden Power Ghost. But yeah, this is gonna be most likely something for future video as well, if you want to see that. Highlights with Regigigas in Master League. I'm gonna be hyped for that. I have a 96% one, maxed out, double moved, ready to go. But yeah, I'm also gonna do a lot of Master League content, so you don't only get to see the content about the Element Cup here. And yeah, here we have the Slowpoke against us. Actually a very interesting matchup. And my opponent swaps into Chikorita perfectly fine, which is really strong from him. You should go to the Tepic. I sometimes make the mistake and go to the Growlithe. Tepic can actually take the Body Slam, Growlithe can't. So Tepic just can farm down after 1 Body Slam and it's fine, while the Growlithe has to shield the Body Slam. But yeah, the Slowpoke is actually also a Pokemon I'm definitely gonna showcase later on this channel as well, because Slowpoke looks so super solid right now, as there's no Pokemon that actually resists confusion damage. Like there's none. There's no Dark type in the meta. You run Houndour, but I haven't seen a single Houndour yet. And there are like no Steel types. You can use Ferroseed, which is I think the only eligible Steel type in the meta, but like no one uses that. So basically running Slowpoke is a free Pokemon like this, using it as a safe swap, for example. Slowpoke is like super strong, as there's like nothing that can switch into that, like nothing. Like even especially Shadow Wand is like super solid, as you even have more damage with the boosted confusion. And yeah, here we have Seal against us, which is actually not the worst matchup, As you can see right now, we got a shield there. And now we can just try to go for the body slam. I think I'm actually gonna shield here, yeah. Because I know I'm gonna get to the next body slam as well. Gonna get a shield there. And I resist every move from him on my Chinchou. And I can just like farm this thing down later on. And I already got a lot of damage against him with the Amber damage there. And I just got like 2 shields from my opponent with my fire type, so pretty decent. And my Chinchou can just farm all the way down. I'm just gonna swap out immediately because I know the Bulbas are gonna come back in and my opponent has a Ducklet. And now it's gonna get like kinda difficult right now, as this might be a bit of a problem to have like the Bulbasaur still in the back, as Bulbasaur are gonna be really good against my Chinchou still. Especially if it has some energy, but still, a Thunderbolt hurts a lot. You cannot really underestimate the Thunderbolt from the Chinchou, as you're gonna see right now. Bulbasaur, not the bulkiest Pokemon, just gonna get wrecked by the Thunderbolt, and this is gonna be a good game to my opponent. Next opponent, we're gonna have Seal against us, super solid. And in general, like, Chinchou has a lot of positive lead matchups today, as you basically, it's actually like kinda what you could expect. It's a water type that beats water types and fire types, so something that you kind of could expect winning a lot of leads right now. So highly recommend you trying it out in the lead, not always in the back, as I showcased the team with Chinchou the closer yesterday. And here we can just go into our Growlithe. Actually, we're still gonna win this matchup there. We got 2 shields from the Seal already, and we can just use a 1 shield here to get to the body slam, kind of KO the Seal. Because I still kind of want to keep my Chinchou for this matchup, as Ducklet is in nearly every team right now. And I can at least use my Chinchou as a shield against it. Or, yeah, just like farm down a bit. And I'm using it as a shield right now, but my opponent goes into the Bulbasaur and I make a huge mistake here. Like, yeah, I should have waited a bit longer there. But now I have to shield here because of such I'm gonna hurt a lot. I have to get to a body slam against the opposing Ducklet, and I'm gonna win CMP tie here, and we're gonna also win the game with that. Good game to my opponent, nothing that Duck can do here against my double fire team. I think this game was actually crazy. I have Ducklet in the lead, which is solid, but he goes into Chinchou, and this is a problem, as I have to bait here and I have to hope that he shields, which he gonna do, which is super solid for me. But I can go for, I have to shield here as well because I need this thing alive for the Ducklet. And he baits me as well. I'm just gonna go for the Thunderbolt and hope and pray that this is gonna be, that he lets this go or something. And he gonna not let this go, and he actually throws the move against me, which is gonna be another bait. We're not in good position right now, but we're just gonna go into a Tepig, and in Tepig we trust, as a Tepig gonna be able to survive the Bubble Beam here. We're gonna be able to get to another Body Slam, gonna be able to KO this Chinchou, I think? Yeah, okay, even with the debuff it just does KO that thing. And here we still have a lot of health. The good thing about Tepig against like the Growlithe is that you have like way more health, like you're way bulkier one. So we basically force our opponent now to throw a move, which is a Bubble Beam, to KO us. And we can learn our Chinchou again, and we still have the Growlithe in the back. And now it depends on what he has in the back, and if we can win against this. And my opponent goes for the area AC, gonna hurt us a bit, but he has a Cottony in the back, and this is gonna be a good game, as we can just go for the Body Slam here, gonna be able to KO this Cottony. And yeah, this is nothing my opponent can do here anymore. We can go for the Body Slam before he gets to his charge move, or he tries to fight me down there anyway, and that's gonna be a good game at this point of time. Next up, we're gonna have Chinchou against a Vulpix. Very decent. There are a lot of Vulpix who use Quick Attack, like this Vulpix, which is kind of annoying. Quick Attack is actually a super solid move, which I didn't even think about when I made like the meta-analysis there. And here we try to catch the move, which of course is still a Body Slam, but we're gonna be able to catch this, and he's gonna go into the Chinchou, which is good for me, as we can go for a Body Slam here and either get a shield or get a lot of health from him. We got the health, which is even better for me, as we can farm down now with our Chinchou, I think. I have to shield here, the Thunderbolt gonna hurt a lot. Oh yeah. But yeah, the Vulpix is a very interesting pick now with the addition of a Quick Attack. I think my opponent goes back into the Vulpix because he has a booster out. Yep. I'm just gonna shield here because I have so much energy already on that Chinchou. Because he goes back into this thing and stays in here, I expect him to have Ducklet in the back, which is the case at this point of time. I kind of have to bait here. My opponent calls the bait, which is gonna be really interesting, and it's gonna make this matchup way closer. I'm just gonna go for the Bubble Beam here again, and I'm gonna go for the swap out into the Tepig, so I'm gonna save my Bubble Beam, which might come in handy later, but we can just go for the Body Slam there, gonna be able to get the last shield, and my opponent has to KO me before he actually, like, I think he has to go for the Brave Bird here to KO me, and he's gonna do that. And now we're gonna go for the Bubble Beam. Is this gonna be enough to KO this Ducklet? It's not gonna be enough, but we can spark him down. That's gonna be a good game to my opponent. Next up, we have Ducklet against us again. Super solid lead. Like, we win like nearly every lead with this thing. As it turns like against 2/3 of the matter. And against the rest, we have 2 answers in the back. And we're just gonna KO that Cottony. Goes back into the Ducklet. Body Slam just hurts. And my opponent has to respect that. This thing gonna do like, yeah, does more than half to him. And now we have like full health Chinchou against, and Tepig there against like 1 Pokemon of my opponent. I'm just gonna shield here because the Brave Bird gonna hurt. I'm gonna farm down, which brings us to the situation that my opponent can't switch out anymore and can't clear the debuff. So if we just go for the Bubble Beams right now, we just threaten like health from him, and we're just gonna debuff his attacks so he cannot swap out later on. And we are just in a way better spot, and he throws at the same time here, which is super good. Body Slam, I'm just gonna swap out, he wasted some energy, and my opponent surrenders as there was nothing he can do there. Next up, next opponent has Vulpix in the lead, also super solid. You see all the fire types and all the water types in the lead right now. It's just so amazing. So either run a grass type lead or Chinchou, I guess, right now. And here we're just gonna no-shield the Body Slam, totally fine. My opponent runs Quick Attack again. It's really annoying to see all the Quick Attack users right now. We're just gonna go for a Bubble Beam. You're gonna let it go, which is good. We're just gonna swap out immediately because we know whatever comes back there we don't really want to face. And it's gonna be really difficult actually. I actually went on a 9 win streak with this team. I think that's also maybe the game we lost with this. Ducklet, like right now, really difficult to deal with. He goes for a Bubble Beam, which is super good for him. We have to go back into Chinchou, and we know what he has in the back already, and it just does not look good for us. We have to shield here, and he Bubble Beams us, and yeah, now everything gonna get even worse. I have to go for the Thunderbolt to KO him at this point of time. I have to swap out, but like we have Tepig, like there's nothing we can do here anymore. Bubble Beam gonna hurt a lot. We can try to go for the Body Slam there, but there's no way we're gonna like KO this thing, especially as my opponent shielded the first one, which would do more damage as we have to shield this one. And yeah, my opponent just can farm me down this point of time. Good game there, there's nothing we can do. This Body Slam won't threaten the health, and yeah, he can just farm me down, get to a boof here. It's gonna be a good game to my opponent. Very well played for my opponent as well. But okay, this was double water against double fire, so I don't know. Next opponent we have Chinchou against Wooper. And you see already, we don't have any answer to Wooper. But in 30 battles, this was the first Wooper I've ever seen, and yeah, you just have to deal with that. Like, Wooper is an instant loss to this team. But you don't see that at all most of the time. That was the first thing I've ever seen there. No Wooper, no Barboach against me. Both would be like really destroying this team, but you just don't see them usually. But at this point, my opponent goes into the Wooper. I'm just gonna surrender. There's nothing we can do. Like, there's nothing. Nothing we can do. And into the last game, we have other streamer as well, and the Beeps Bro TV. We're just gonna have a super solid lead here. We're just gonna go for the Bubble Beam play again, which I explained in the last video already. Where we're just gonna debuff him before he goes for the Brave Bird, as Brave Bird would hurt, and we would have needed to shield that. Not like this. My opponent goes into Cottony. I'm just gonna be able to go for the Body Slam there. If he shields, he shields. If not, like, I don't really care. He shields this move. I'm gonna be able to, I'm just gonna let this go actually, because I just know his lead already. And I think I can just maybe win with a Tepig. Like, we can just like flame charge our way to victory or something. We have to see. My opponent goes into the Ducklet. So if he shields this, he must be weak to this in the back as well, which he is. And now what we have to do here is we're gonna shield this Bubble Beam. We don't really want to have the debuff right now, and I don't want to get him to another move, so I'm gonna swap out. My opponent is a Vulpix on the back. We're gonna go for Thunderbolt. We can go for a Body Slam on the other thing, and this is gonna be a good game to my opponent. Thanks all for watching this video. I see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and maybe see you on the stream.